Hello, I'm Abby McHenry. I am talking on my news media projects final about the Panhellenic system at the national and local level and whether or not it has women's best interests in mind, specifically sorority women. And I'm here with Women's Advocacy Club President Driana Lynch, and we are just going to talk about whether the system empowers women or not. So, Dri, what does it mean to empower women?
Well, when I think about empowerment, I have a very defined term I use so that when people come to our club, they always have like a set thing and we're all on the same page. So when we describe empowerment, we say empowerment is classified as the process of women being able to make choices and transform them into desired actions and outcomes. So for a good example we use is turning a woman who may say, I can't do that or I'm not allowed to do that, into I can and I will do what I want without restriction put on me from an economical, societal, or moral viewpoint.
Okay, awesome. And do you feel like the Panhellenic Council gives women this choice?
Well, is it okay if I go into a little...
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
no, say whatever you
Okay,
want.
well, first of all, when you asked me to do this, I realized I had a bias towards this topic because my personal experience with Greek life has been all like formulated on this very small campus. So I feel like this campus has a little bit of a different take on Panhellenic than in bigger campuses. And also, I'm not personally involved myself. However, I do hear stuff through the grapevine. So on this campus, sororities seem to give a platform that empowers girls, their individuality as a whole by doing their own mission statements or like supportive cause, and creative collaboration with the communities out in Lakeland, Florida. On the other hand, if I was thinking of Panhellenic on like a countrywide basis, I would say that it sometimes does not empower women in a sense, and that sometimes I feel like the Panhellenic system sometimes takes away the individuality of women because it pushes everyone that joins to have to like each other and get along, and it kind of pushes a viewpoint of like this is our sorority and this is the only type of person that you can be. So I feel like they don't embrace intersectionality, diversity, or sometimes they don't even recruit ethnically. So I feel like when sororities behave like this, or an organization in general, there's no way of pushing your sisterhood or your organization to the highest extent. And I feel like when it comes to sisterhood, it should be about inclusion. So sometimes sororities will reveal in their own setting and shut the doors on other types of women, and they're mimicking themselves instead of exploding one stereotype instead of being inclusive with everyone. Yeah.
How can we be more inclusive? How can organizations better include more types of people, not just box people into one type?
Yeah, one type. So I feel like a good example of sororities when they're good is when they acknowledge and they understand the oppression faced by all types of women. So this can be a trans woman, a binary woman, a poor woman, a woman of color, all the types. So I think sororities can make it better. I have a couple of suggestions. If they give adequate scholarship funding to help girls with economical barriers to join, because I notice a problem on our campus that sometimes girls have to drop because they can't pay their dues. Mm-hmm. Support low socioeconomic backgrounds more. They have social programs with other sororities because sometimes I feel like it's very common for girls to be like a sweetheart or something to another fraternity. But sometimes I wish I would see them pair more like as the individual, like a close-knit foundation. Also, I think another example is leadership and using inclusive language that doesn't assume heterosexuality or invalidate queer existence. And last but not least, I think making Greek housing more accessible, such as wheelchair ramps or anything like that, lets people with disabilities feel more welcome into these communities. And it promotes individuality and inclusiveness instead of the stereotype that can sometimes negatively be connotated with it.
Yeah, those are all really good points. And I wouldn't have thought of the housing thing. I mean, definitely I remember moving into like the Greek housing, I was like, oh, it's kind of odd that they don't have that kind of access.
Yeah,
like,
right?
You'd think that like at this point they would, but yeah, that's definitely like a factor to put in there, making sure that they have that.
Yeah,
Sure.
I know our campus as a whole is trying to make it more accessible, but sometimes our organizations need to make a more prominent stance in that we need this and we want this for ourselves. And sometimes they just have to divert their funds and, you know, see what they can do to push it. Because Greek life is big on our campus.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What do you think that Florida Southern's Panhellenic Board is doing or not doing to better the sorority experience?
So I'm not exactly involved in Panhellenic, so I don't have as many insights into what the actual board is doing. However, I can tell you some situations where girls have told me that they really enjoy the new Rush experience that our school has done and how they've changed that. My roommate was a Rho Gamma, so she had to go through the whole like hidden process, and she was so excited to go back and I guess run home to her sorority after being hidden. And she was telling me how it's so nice that you guys have like the parties and you guys try to be as uninfluential, the Rho Gammas, I guess, into letting girls just decide what they want. And I think that's a great way of letting people choose their own individuality and let them like choose by themselves what they want, instead of multiple sororities trying to like recruit them while they're still in like an undecided phase. However, if I was coming from a cynical view, I would say that rushing sometimes can put women against each other, just the competitiveness of it. But that's honestly anything that you do that requires, you know, you have standings or like perceived stereotypes about sororities and what may be like a better one to you or maybe not to another. So that's kind of generalized, but I think our campus life is very empowering to the girls on here, and it creates a lot of like networking opportunities. They do a lot of good things in the community. The Women's Advocacy Club, we actually partner with Alpha Chi because their I don't know what that's called, the mission statement or their
Philanthropy?
Yeah, their philanthropy.
Yes.
Their philanthropy is domestic violence. So we always partner with them at Peace Forever. So I feel like their philanthropies and all that are really good. But yeah, I don't really know much about the board besides that.
Yeah, that's fine. What do you think of the spring recruitment now? Do you think that it offers people more or less opportunity as far as like getting to know the sororities? And then also like on the other side for people like putting on recruitment, like do you think that that's like better that they have to like wait or like I don't know? I personally think I would like it better if it was in the spring, because I know that you guys sororities do kind of like recruitment events in the fall, and girls have the options. I like it when women have options and they have knowledge. So girls have options and knowledge to learn about everything before making a rushed decision. So I like that. However, I do understand that maybe from a sorority point of view, it's very like rushed. I don't know, it's always called a rush, but it's very rushed. And they plan it out like, you know, weeks and months in advance, but like those couple of days that you guys are trying to get these new girls at, y'all are so stressed. Everybody looks excited, but they look tired. So I don't know how it might feel to be the one planning it, but I do know that the girls who are involved in it and trying to be recruited seem like they always have a very good time. I've never heard of sorority hazing on our campus, so I think it's a good experience, and I kind of like it in the spring. It's cute. Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely, it was definitely a big change for this year, but I think it worked out for a lot of people for sure.
Was it good for you? Did you like it better in the spring?
Oh, on my side, I personally, I think it worked out really well, because I think that we got to just like know a lot of the girls a lot more, and just like, we had more time to like get to know people, just get stuff together for recruitment, so that was good.
Okay.
But we were all just like waiting. I think that like there was a little bit less of a turnout just because I think some people like had a semester kind of think about it, and they were like, oh, maybe we don't need Greek life, which could be like a very bad thing, because maybe people do need to like find their own way, and it's okay if they have their own like friend groups outside of that. So I don't know, what do you think of like how the Panhellenic board works versus IFC, the Infraternity Council, the Guys Council? What do you think of some of their rules compared to ours? Should their rules change? Should our rules change? How they work?
I'm not informed on y'all rules. I honestly don't know.
Like, for example, the guys can get multiple bids. Girls can only receive one bid on bid day.
Stop
the guys,
lying.
no, they can literally get a bid from every single fraternity.
Wow.
The girls, they have like parties and very formal events they go to. The guys kind of have just like fun events throughout the week, like carnival games or like poker night, stuff like that. They just kind of have very formal events, and they can choose to like either go to one fraternity, so they could go to all of them. They can choose who they want to go to. Girls have to go to every single party they're invited back to, or else they get dropped from the process.
Wow.
So, what do you think about that? Do you think that the guys should change the rules? Should the girls change the rules? Are they both fine the way they are? Should they just exist separately and that's fine? Like,
well, when I first think about it, the word that comes out is internalized misogyny, which is when women ourselves hold up misogynistic views that men impose on us, such as having to stay in gender roles or having to conform to what we fought so hard to not do, like vote and all that good stuff, where would we want. So I feel like that's not a very progressive way of rushing, because I don't understand why. I'm not saying going to the parties isn't fun, but it'd be more fun if you guys could throw like a pool party, could do a barbecue, play games. Because I remember the advertising, they did like all of that craziness. And then you guys are like not stuck, but you guys are in like big arenas or big stadium, I don't know, like big just rooms going around talking and, not really getting to see the fun side. So I feel like there should be a change. I don't know why there isn't a change, or I don't know if there is like some belief or standard that the sorority Panhellenic board is trying to uphold compared to the men's. But with just the knowledge you've given me, the knowledge that I know personally, I feel like it is unfair. Mm-hmm.
So you would change how the girls work?
Yeah, I would definitely change
more informal.
To be more informal, because that's how, if this is supposed to be your family, you're never formal with your family. You're supposed to have a good time, show your true colors, do things that you love, and maybe experience a new experience with people you don't know to see if they have, if you guys bond. But I don't know. It's almost kind of like you're prepping yourself to be married away to a good family.
Oh, yeah.
Like who will get the bid? Like you have to like present yourself a certain way and hope that somebody chooses you, compared to the boys where you're your natural self, and then multiple sororities or fraternities can, bid on you. So
yeah, it's definitely very different.
Mm-hmm.
The girls too, you'll talk to at the parties, you'll talk to maybe 3 people at the most, like per night.
Wow.
Although they do sometimes discuss a little bit, that just, you typically only talk to 3 people and they'll rank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, if those 3 people just happen to not like you, you might not get asked back.
And see, that's what I was saying about sometimes the negative things about sororities, is that when you talk to the same 3 people who are in the same sorority and they may have a stereotype about the people they want in their sorority, it doesn't promote inclusiveness. Mm-hmm. And maybe that is something that I feel like the fraternity boys have an advantage about, is that multiple people can see them and multiple people can get along with them, and maybe like that doesn't resonate with me, but you might resonate with my brother, so you probably will be a good fit compared to the sorority situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
At the national level, what are some things that you think that Panhellenic does well and does maybe not as well? And then at like larger public schools, what are some of the biggest differences? Like,
I feel like larger public schools, I feel like those schools probably are more prone to the stereotypes of sororities, just because at those schools, that's where you get the big movies with like the I don't want to use this word, but like the like the ditzy, like stereotypical like ditzy, don't know what's going on, they just want to be party and like but that's a crazy stereotype that's always like portrayed in movies or society or whatever. But at a smaller scale school, you can actually get to know the girls, and everybody's really nice. It's not like girls who are in Greek life just don't talk to girls who are in Greek life, nor do they shove it down your throat. It's just an organization you're part of. And it's really cool how at our school we get to experience people just loving what they're part of compared to maybe at a public school where it's a social status or it puts you above somebody else. With that being said, I think maybe the national board, what they could change, what they're doing good and what they're doing bad. I would say they're doing bad is continuing to allow stereotypes about their organization to ride on, because at this stage, we are in a progressive movement with how our world is changing. And at this time, if you hire people who understand inclusiveness, you hire people who want diversity, who want something better, who want good connotations for their organization, you can find them and it'll move it. But, progress takes time, as we can see. So I think they could do that better to make a better image for when you're presenting yourself with your organization. What they already do good is I love their philanthropies. Every philanthropy is very community-based, and it's helping somebody who usually doesn't, they get help, but they need help. So I really like that about our sororities, and I feel like they do a lot of events that support their philanthropies around campus, which makes me really excited because I like to donate, or they do the runs. So
this will be the last question.
Oh, no problem.
How do you think we can better empower women, not just within the Greek community, but just all the time? What are some steps we could take every day?
Taking steps every day to empower women starts as easy as giving out compliments. Now, I feel like sometimes, I know in sororities you're not supposed to talk bad about your sorority or your sisters, but I'm bringing my feminism a little bit. Feminism is about critique, and you don't have to love everybody, but that doesn't, because you don't love everybody doesn't mean you don't show respect. So showing respect to other women, complimenting them when they look good, being kind, not just nice, because nice is gestures, kindness is your actual personality. That's a good thing. Other ways is just, showing up to meetings, seeing organizations that's out in the community, maybe donating a couple of dollars to a charity or a community event that you actually like. Things like that can really empower women. But I feel like women feel empowered when we have numbers. So I think a big way around campus is just showing up to things that good women and women in general want to put out,
Yeah, actually, I have another question. What do you love the most about being the president of Women's Advocacy Club?
Oh gosh, what do I love the most? I love that I have an opportunity to create a very open and inviting space, because there are different types of feminism, there are different types of women, there's different types of political, economical backgrounds, everything. Anybody and anything can come to my club and have a good time and actually understand and relate, because it's a safe space, and that's a trending word right now, is a safe space. And I like to make everybody feel included. I like to give examples from every type of thing that's going on so people can share their own experiences. And I really enjoy when people feel like they have somebody to relate to, because sometimes that's really hard. Sometimes a lot of people don't want to open up and share their experiences, or they're nervous that if they do share something that people will make fun of them. But when you have a club or organization to go back to and just feel at home, like how sorority, you feel like you're with your sisters. Well, I hope my club feels like we're a family, and our meetings are somewhere where you can truly express yourself.
I love that. That's
awesome.
Thank you. Oh. And then just the last thing I'm going to say is there anything else that you would like to add about this at all? Anything about Panhellenic, just empowering women, anything at all?
No, I think you really did a great job interviewing me. Oh. And I really appreciate you letting me be on your project. But I think that's it. You hit everything.
Thank you so much.
No
I
problem.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.